How are you today? I hope that you are having some great success with working on your family, adding information to Familysearch, looking for records. And if this is your first time and you're joining us, I hope that you will come away from this having a greater desire to find your family. I have had more and more experiences as I have felt this hastening of the work. Um, there is no doubt in my mind that this is Jesus Christ Church and that those on the other side are very aware of us and are very involved in our finding them. So if you feel like you have a very full tree and you're not sure where to start, we're going to talk a little bit today about adding what you know. We all have information that we can add to the Familysearch family tree that will help to add to the story. It might be information, it might be dates. Let me just adjust the screen a little bit here. So I want to share an experience that happened about 2 weeks ago. I wrote about it on my phone. There is an app. Let me see if I can show it to you. I don't know if you can see it once I pull it up, but I recorded it in my journal. It's called the Day One app. And you can't see it. There you go. This one I entitled Expect Miracles. So the great thing about the Day One app is that you can print it once you've done it. You can talk into your phone and it'll type out what you say. You can go back in and edit the punctuation. But I love that you can put pictures in there and it will post date it. It's fabulous. If you want me to share more about the Day One app at another time, let me know and I will tell you my secrets of the Day One app. It's been very, very helpful. So let me share this experience with adding what you know. So about a week, I think it was a week ago, Thursday, my husband and I were just getting ready for bed. And he asked me just out of the blue, do you have a picture of that Bible that we saw on our first trip to Sweden? And I said, yeah, I think so. And so I scrolled through and let's see, it says it's not recording. Hopefully it's recording. So I scrolled through my pictures and I found it. So I found this picture and he said, can you share it with me? So I shared it with him and I went to sleep. Well, the next evening we were just sitting down. It was a Friday night and we were going to pull up a movie. So I thought I'm just going to do a little family history. And then I had this thought to go look at that Bible entry because I figured my husband probably hadn't looked at it yet. And I was going to see if they were on Familysearch. So I'm going to share screen and show you what I found. Allow to share screen. Here we go. Share entire screen. Great. That's what we want to see. Last time I recorded a few weeks ago, it didn't do that. All right. So wrong one. Let's see if we can find the right one. Here we go. So here is Thomas Josephson. You can see his birth date is the 14th of October, 1834. So I'm going to close this for a minute. I'm going to exit the full screen. Let's see if it'll let me do this. And hopefully you'll be able to see this right here. I think you should be able to see this. So this is in 2014. So mind you, this has been sitting on my phone since 2014. This is a picture of the Bible. And there's a really cool backstory to this, even getting to see this Bible. It turns out that this Bible is connected into Jared's family. When we went to Sweden in 2014, it was kind of on a whim. A really good deal had come up and my husband texted me and said, hey, do you want to go to Sweden? And I said, of course. It was on my bucket list. And I said, when is it? And he said, in 3 weeks. So we booked the tickets that night and the next day at church, I just had this thought to reach out to historical societies. So I started emailing some of the small historical societies in southern Sweden. Because of those emails, I was able to connect with someone who connected me with a relative. And that relative actually connected us to this man, and I can't remember his name now, but we ended up having dinner with him and this new cousin, Ert, that we had met, and another cousin, Bill, that had flown in from Switzerland. So all of us were having dinner together. And this man took us into this other room after dinner and said, would you like to see this Bible? And somehow in the course of conversation, we determined that we were related to this man, or my husband was related. We both have family from southern Sweden, and this was so cool to find this out. So he opens up the Bible, and then he shows us the inside of it, and you can see right on this side is family names. So when I opened this up that Friday night, I saw here that it's written, these are it's the Bible of the Fiskaren, which is the fisherman Thomas Josephson. He was born on the 14th of October in the year 1834, as well as his beloved wife, Margaret Retta Johansdottir, born on the 10th of July in the year 1835. And then it lists all these children. So you've got Anna and Josef and Johanna and Johann and Nils, and then you've got Heinrich, and it looks like he was born in 1875, and then actually there's another one born in 1878. Oops, I drawn a little line there. So let me take you back to family. So actually, before I went to Familysearch, I think I went to Familysearch, I pulled it up, and then I thought I need to go to the Swedish website, which is Archive Digital. So we're going to show you that now. And I'm hoping that it's still showing all the screen. So I'm going to go to Archive Digital. And I pulled up in Archive Digital, you can do an index search. And you can see right here, I typed in Thomas Josephson, born 1834, and then the 10th of October 14. That's the format that they like. And you can see it pulled up several Thomas Josephsons. So I was so excited. So I just ended up clicking on this one, 1866 to 73. And when I clicked on it, I can see the actual image, and I'm going to pull that up for you. Let's see if we can make it a little brighter. So they're living at this place, Vitamola number 20. There's another fisherman, Christian Hansen, who's living there. And down below, on a smaller farm, you've got this widow, Anna Haukensdottir, and then you've got this fisherman, Thomas Josephson. And you can see right here, it says 14th of October, 1834 in Vitaby. And then the H stands for wife, hustru. And so there's Margrethe, there's her birth date. So I started to look through the children and compare. So we've got a Joseph and then an Anna, and I remembered that, and then Botilda. But anytime you see a cross out, you always want to look over, and here it said died in 1867. And I believe she was already in there. What stood out to me is this right here. Let's see if this is as bright as we can go. I guess it is. Here's a Johanna, and here's a Johanna. This one's crossed out. This one was born in 1868, so I quickly scrolled over, and it said she died. So she was born the 27th of August and died the 2nd of September. So she wasn't even a week old, and she died in 1868. And then the next daughter, Johanna, was born in 1869. So all of a sudden, I started getting these little warning bells like, oh my gosh, I think I found a missing person. So I'm going to, let's see if we can exit full screen. Here we go. Let's go back here. So here we've got Joseph, born in 63, and the next date is 69. And we did not have that Johanna. And in fact, I just noticed this for the first time. There's no Botilda listed here. I'm wondering if she's in Familysearch or not. We'll have to check. So it was absolutely incredible. The spirit was so strong as I sat there on that couch. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have found a missing child. So I went back to Familysearch. Let's open this screen back up. Let's see if I can find it. Wrong one. Sorry, I have so many of these windows open. Here we are. So here's Thomas Josephson. So we're going to scroll down. Okay, so there's Botilda. So she is in there. Johanna was not. So here's the Johanna that was in the Bible, born in 69. It was empty right here. If you can see right here, I added her, and I have since that night, I immediately reserved this. What I always like to do, and you can see I've got it reserved. What I always like to do is I like to go to the parents, and I like to, if you actually click on their name, this box pops up, and you can hover over these, and I can see his endowment was done in 1983, and the sealing was done in 1983. Let's look at his wife. And I look at her endowment. It was done in 1983, and then, of course, the sealing. So this couple they've had their work done for over 40 years. And because I went back to something that I had on my phone for the last 11 years, for 11 years I've had this key to this missing child. And I was able to add her, and now we are going to be able to seal this little Johanna, this first one that was born and died at less than a week. Can you see how important it is to go back to the records that you have? And what's even more incredible is as I'm sitting there basking in the Spirit, I just felt the gratitude of this mother that I had found this little baby. I asked my husband, I said, what made you think of this Bible record? I mean, it was so random, especially it was late at night. And he said, actually, today when I was doing initiatory, it popped into my mind. And I want to testify to you of the power of being in the temple and the revelation that you can receive while you are in the temple. Today in Sunday school, one of the brothers talked about the power of the temple. And he said, I go and it's so familiar to me now. And the words are so familiar. I have them all memorized. But what is different every time I go is my ability to receive revelation, new information each time I go, specifically from Heavenly Father for me. And so my encouragement to you this week is to open up your phone and make an appointment for the temple. Get in the temple so you can receive that revelation that God needs for you. And then my next invitation to you is to find something in your home that you could add to Familysearch, whether it's a picture, whether it's a document, whether it's a letter. Today, it was a rainy Sunday afternoon, and so I was thinking about a book that we have with some of my ancestors' stories, and one of them is a story about him and Hans Mill. And when I looked on Familysearch, that story is not on there. So my goal is to get that digitized and add to Familysearch. So we're going to talk a little bit about that next week. I'm going to share how you can take stories and information and get it into Familysearch using AI. Another thing that was so cool about just having that little thought to go look for that Hans Mill story was I found a binder that I had produced. In fact, I'm going to stop sharing screen for a minute now that I'm there. And I hope that it really did stop sharing screen. Let's see if we can get back here. All right. So I have this binder. It says my dad's history. And I opened it up and I thought, I wonder what's in here. You know, you do stuff and then it's taken a long time. Or it's been a long time since I've looked at it. So these are letters. I got these letters from so you can see, I'll show you some more. And I believe these little sticky notes are ones that I've scanned, but I don't know for sure. And I don't know that they're on Familysearch. But I got these from my great aunt, Melba, before she died. I just felt this strong urgency to go visit her. And I went and visited her, and within a couple of years, she passed away. But she ended up sending me all of these letters. So it's a whole book of letters from my great-grandmother, Martha, to her daughter, Melba, she was going to nursing school. And so there's a few that are from my great-grandfather. And so my goal is I'm going to go in here. You can see they're all, in this old writing, which is so cool. They're not on Familysearch yet. And I'm going to practice using AI this week, and I'll let you know what happens. I'd like to be able to scan all these, upload them to AI, and have it typed all out so that I can just add it as a set of letters from my great-grandma Martha on Familysearch. So that's my action item for this week, is to do that. I have a wedding, and then we have Thanksgiving here in the U.S., but that's my goal, and I'm going to work on that this evening, and then I will update you. So we will continue next week talking about how AI can help you in adding what you know, in finding your family, getting ideas of how to find your family. As I have said before, this is the most incredible time to be alive. And I testify to you that if you will be in the temple regularly, that you will receive the inspiration and the revelation that you need to be able to further this work. I also testify to you that Heavenly Father can work together with multiple people. My husband received that inspiration to get the document, and then I know how to get into these Swedish records. And so all of that was like this domino effect for me to be able to find this missing little baby. So have a happy week, and let me know if you find something or if you have any other questions. We are so excited to be able to help you in this magnificent gathering. Have a great week.